The universe and all within it bear witness in 55 tongues to the existence and oneness of Allah, Almighty God. The Treatise of the Droplet, authored by Bediuzzaman Said Nursi in 1922. This treatise is about La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds, and blessings and peace be upon the Master of all messengers, Muhammad, and upon all his family and companions. By taking everything visible as witnesses, we testify and proclaim, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. Translator's note: Muslims use the word Allah to refer to the supreme creator who created the universe and everything within it. In other words, like Christians and Jews, they believe in the Almighty God, the creator of the universe. Therefore, these three religions are referred to as the Abrahamic religions, or the heavenly, divinely revealed religions. In the Arabic Bible, God is referred to as Allah. In the Aramaic, Syriac language, which was the native language of Jesus, peace be upon him, the word appears as Allah, while in the Torah it appears as Elo, or Elohim. According to the Quran, Allah is the unique and proper name of the Supreme Creator Himself. According to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad and in the supplication known as Jau Shan, Chevshen, Allah also has 1,001 beautiful names and attributes, Asma al-Husna, such as Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate, Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, Al-Jamil, the beautiful, Al-Fard, the unique, Al-Hayy, the ever-living, Al-Qayyum, the self-subsisting, Al-Hakam, the judge, Al-Adl, the just, Al-Qudus, the most holy, Ar-Razzaq, the provider, Ar-Rabb, the Lord and sustainer, Al-Qadir, the all-powerful, Al-Majid, the glorious, Al-Azim, the magnificent, As-Sultan, the sovereign, Al-Muhsin, the beneficent, Al-Ahad, the one, As-Samad, the eternal refuge, Al-Karim, the most generous, and many others. That Allah is such a God that the truest witness, the most confirming proof, the speaking evidence to His certain and undeniable existence, and to all His most perfect attributes and qualities, and to the fact that He is Wahid and Ahad, the one and unique, Fard and Samad, the absolute and self-sufficient one, is our master and guide to salvation, our Prophet Muhammad, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, ibn Abdul Muttalib, peace and blessings be upon him, the master of all prophets, the Imam of all saints and God-conscious scholars. Our prophet carries within himself the secret of the unanimous confirmation and testimony of all previous prophets. He stands upon the mystery of the consensus, verification, and profound investigations of all saints and learned scholars. His manifest and certain miracles, His perfect and pure character, noble virtues, and exalted morality, together with the divine revelation, the noble Quran, which was revealed to Him, all clearly and decisively prove His prophethood. That messenger of Allah, Muhammad, was a traveler through the visible and invisible realms, and especially through the unseen world, the realm of the hereafter, and the world of divine dominion, Malakut, the world of angels and spirits. He was an observer and witness of the spirits dwelling in those realms. He conversed with the angels living in the world of Malakut. He served as the guide and spiritual master of mankind and the jinn. Moreover, through his spiritual personality, he became a synthesis and summary of all the perfections and beauties within the universe. He was the most distinguished and chosen servant of the Creator of the universe, and he brought happiness and felicity to humanity. He was the founder of the noble Sharia, the holy law, which is the source of all true happiness. That Sharia, namely Islam, is the constitution, the declaration, and the divine program of the one who orders and governs the entire universe, Allah, who arranges and administers all existence. Thus, our prophet stood in this visible world as a bearer of glad tidings and a warner above the heads of all witnesses, proclaiming with a mighty voice the news he received from the unseen realm to all humanity lined up behind the centuries. He announced with all his strength complete seriousness, perfect certainty, and unshakable faith. La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. That is, the one who created this universe is one and unique. There is no deity besides him. The witness to his claim and the clearest proof of the certain existence and unity of Almighty Allah is again the wise Furqan, the noble Quran, which openly bears witness to all the exalted attributes, beauty, and perfection of Allah, and decisively proclaims his existence and oneness. That Furqan, the noble Quran, carries within itself the essence and secret of the consensus of all the prophets who came in different ages, the truths contained in all their scriptures, the teachings of all the saints of various spiritual paths, and the proofs and evidences established by believing scholars and affirmers of divine unity, muwahidun, Unitarian believers, who followed different methods and schools, all of whom believed in and testified to the existence and oneness of Allah. Through its luminous nature from 6 directions, it has been decisively established that the noble Quran is truly the word of Allah, Kalamullah, and all intellects and hearts together have unanimously agreed that it is the speech of Allah. Throughout all ages and the flow of time, saints, purified scholars, and learned men have preserved and confirmed that it is worthy of the name Kalamullah, the speech of God. Its being entirely revelation has been proven through the consensus of the prophets who themselves received revelation in the past, and through the agreement of the saints and spiritual masters who possessed unveiling, kashaf, and inspiration, ilham. The noble Quran is the clear fountain, source, and very essence of guidance. It is the mine and source of faith. It is a compendium wherein all truths are gathered together. The noble Quran is the guide to eternal happiness and manifest felicity. It has raised millions of perfected and spiritually mature human beings. Therefore, through countless signs and indications, it has been clearly seen that the noble Quran is a divine guide accepted and beloved by the angels, mankind, and believing jinn alike. It has been fully confirmed and verified through rational proofs, and all perfected intellects have unanimously agreed that it is the true word, divine revelation, and the speech of Allah. Moreover, the noble Quran is an eternal and everlasting miracle in this visible universe. Alam al-Shahada, it is the tongue and interpreter of the unseen universe. Alam al-Ghaib. This Quran proclaims, "So know that there is no deity except Allah." Quran 47:19. That is, truly, there is no God besides Allah. The only Creator is Allah. Such is Allah that the great book of the universe called the Cosmos, with all its chapters, sections, pages, lines, sentences, and letters, stands as a witness and proof to His certain and undeniable existence, to His possessing all attributes of majesty, Jalal, beauty, Jamal, and perfection, Kamal, and to His absolute oneness and unity. And this universe called the great man, together with all the worlds contained within him, with all his organs, essences, cells, atoms, attributes, and states, continually proclaims La ilaha illallah, thereby indicating and bearing witness to the existence and unity of Allah. All the worlds within the universe, with all their pillars and foundations, proclaim La khaliqa illahu. There is no creator except him. With the organs and members of those pillars, they declare La sani'a illahu. There is no artist and maker except him. And with all the parts and components of those members, they say La mudabbira illahu. There is no director, administrator, and governor except him. And with the particulars and subdivisions of those parts, they proclaim La murabbiya illahu. There is no sustainer, nurturer, and lord except him. With the cells of those particulars, they declare La mutasarrifa illahu. There is none besides him who disposes, controls, administers, and governs the universe. And with the particles and atoms of those cells, they say, La khaliqa illahu. There is no creator except him. And with the ether-like substances, quarks, and mesons of those atoms, they proclaim, La ilaha illahu. There is no deity except him. Thus, the world and the universe, through all their species, pillars, organs, parts, cells, particles, atoms, and subtle substances, bear witness to the certain and undeniable existence of Almighty Allah, to His unity, wahdaniyya, His oneness, ahadiyya, and to the fact that He is ever-present and all-observing everywhere. Likewise, through all their inscriptions, beauties, adornments, and decorations, they clearly prove the existence and unity of Allah, the eternal divine artist, Naqashi Azali. Therefore, all the pillars of the universe, all beings, all compounds, all parts and particles, everything in existence, testify in 55 tongues to the certain existence and unity of Almighty Allah, the eternal deity worthy of worship. They recite and proclaim His beautiful names. All beings in the universe, all compounds, atoms, living and non-living things alike, perform their duties with gratitude and praise to Almighty Allah. These beings interpret and explain the verses of the wise Quran. They confirm the messages brought by Muhammad, the master of all messengers. And thus they manifest the light of faith, which means believing in our one and unique Lord, the Wahid and Ahad. Indeed, through the consensus of all these tongues, the entire universe, under the command and instruction of the noble Quran, and under the leadership of the noble messenger, Rasul al-Akram, peace and blessings be upon him, the master of all prophets and messengers, and the leader of mankind and the jinn, continually recites and proclaims this exalted remembrance, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. Allah, there is no deity except Him, the ever-living, the self-subsisting. Now let us examine one by one the proofs and evidences by which this universe bears witness in 55 tongues. 1. Both the universe as a whole and all its individual parts, all beings and all works of art within it, display a manifest, self-evident, and harmonious order and arrangement. There exists a system and order in which everything relates to one another. There is a balance, proportion, and measured harmony in which all things support and correspond to each other. This order, system, balance, and proportion indicate the certain existence of a being who holds the entire universe in the grasp of His power and governs and administers it with perfect measure and harmony. These three actions, arrangement, order, and balance, testify through their mutual correspondence, resemblance, and support for one another, that the organizer, orderer, and master of all things is one, the Wahid. Thus, they open a window, pointing to the existence and unity of Almighty Allah. In that window, the universe bears witness with the tongue saying, Allahu la ilaha illa hu. Allah, there is no deity except Him. 2. Furthermore, within this palace we call the universe, the orderly movement and clock-like precision do not permit the interference of different and conflicting hands. This clearly and decisively proves that the owner of all the arts, inscriptions, and dominion within this universal palace belongs only to a single being. Thus, this order and harmony open another window toward the existence and unity of Almighty Allah. And the universe again bears witness with the tongue proclaiming, Allahu la ilaha illa hu. Allah, there is no deity except Him. 3. Moreover, in everything there exists a conscious artistic beauty and perfection written by the hand of power and the pen of Almighty Allah, the absolute bestower, Fayazi Mutlaq, according to the capacity and suitability of that thing. This beauty and perfection of art indicate the unity of the pen that writes them, namely Almighty Allah. They prove that the same scribe who writes the page of the heavens with its stars and suns is also the one who writes the page of the bee and the ant with their cells and atoms. Thus, the perfection seen in these works of art open yet another window to the existence and unity of Allah, the divine artist. Standing within this window, the universe cries out with the tongues of all created works of art, Allahu la ilaha illa hu. Allah, there is no deity except Him. 4. Inanimate things that are separate and different from one another nevertheless respond to each other's needs as though saying, Here you are, helping and supporting one another through long and intricate pathways. Cells and fruits, for example, though composed of many distant and different substances, cooperate in mutual solidarity. Likewise, the planets, fruits of the sun, move within the solar system in cooperation and balance. For instance, Jupiter and the Moon intercept countless meteors and celestial bodies that might otherwise strike the Earth, thereby protecting it. This solidarity and mutual assistance among beings prove that all existence and everything within it are servants of one single master and one sole administrator, acting under the command of a single ruler. Their sustainer and Lord is one. Thus, this too opens a window toward the existence and unity of Almighty Allah, and the universe bears witness through it with the proclamation, Allahu la ilaha illa hu. Allah, there is no deity except Him. 5. The orderly and harmonious works within the universe resemble one another. The stars in the heavens resemble one another, and likewise the flowers upon the earth resemble one another and display proportionate and corresponding measures. This proves that all things and all beings belong to one supreme owner. They are under the control and administration of a single governor. The workshop and mastery producing all things arise from one single power. That is, the stars in the heavens, just like the flowers upon the earth, open another window toward the existence and unity of Almighty Allah, and through that window the universe bears witness with the tongue proclaiming, Allahu la ilaha illa hu. Allah, there is no deity except Him. 6. Every living being performs different acts and displays different works in a conscious manner, thereby showing that they are manifestations of many divine names of Almighty Allah. These beautiful names, Asma al-Husna, display their effects even within a single cell, showing cooperation, harmony, and resemblance among the cells themselves. Just as the 7 colors appear within the light of the sun, so too all the divine names reflect and manifest within these beings, each within the other. These conditions and manifestations prove, through the unity seen in every created work, that the owner of the divine names manifested within living beings is one, the Wahid. For example, whoever is the creator of a living being is also the one who brings it forth from the realm of non-existence, clothes it with form and appearance, and grants it countless blessings. He is Musawwir, the giver of form and shape, Mun'im, the bestower of blessings, and Razak, the provider of sustenance. And whoever gives sustenance to that living being must also be the one who created all sources of sustenance, the one who brings forth all provisions from the earth, who creates sustenance within the waters and oceans for the fish, and who is the creator of all these sources of provision, must certainly be the same being whose command and dominion extend over the whole universe. Thus, this truth also opens a window, showing the existence and unity of Allah, and in that window, the universe, through the tongues of all living creatures, bears witness by proclaiming, Allahu la ilaha illahu, Allah, there is no deity except Him. 7. Furthermore, the resemblance, mutual correspondence, and interconnected harmony between the eyes and stomachs of bees and ants, and the beauty and order found in the planets of the solar system, prove that the same divine artist who fashioned the eyes and stomachs of the bee and ant also fashioned the sun together with all the planets and moons of the solar system. Their creator is one and the same. This opens another window toward the existence of the necessary being, Wajib al-Wujud, the one and unique Allah. And through that window, the universe cries out, Allahu la ilaha illahu. There is no deity except Him. 8. Moreover, the subtle, attractive force woven, inscribed, and flowing among particles, atoms, and subatomic entities, together with the great universal attraction and gravity spread among the stars and suns, prove that both forms of attraction, the forces within the atom and the gravitational forces among galaxies and stars, are the writing and ink of a single pen, the weaving and arrangement of a single weaver. The one who created both forms of attraction and who maintains and orders the universe through those forces is one, the eternal sustainer, Qayyum. Thus, through this window, the universe bears witness to His unity with a lofty and subtle tongue, proclaiming, Allahu la ilaha illahu. There is no deity but Him. 9. Every particle and atom displays an orderly relationship within nested compounds and systems. Like a disciplined soldier, an atom performs different duties in different positions according to varying benefits and purposes. For example, an atom or molecule functioning within the eye has relationships and duties connected with the nervous system between the eye and brain, the arteries and veins, and the camera-like and image-transmitting systems inside the eye itself. These conditions prove that the one who created the pupil, retina, nerves, and the complete camera system we call the eye is also the one who created the sun, the eye of the world and the solar system. And the one who placed both the human eye and the sun in their proper positions is Allah, the creator of all compounds and atoms. Thus, another great window opens toward the existence and unity of Allah, and through that window, the universe bears witness with the tongues of every atom, proclaiming, Allahu la ilaha illahu. Allah, there is no deity except Him. 10. The vast administration and governance of Almighty Allah's power within a single species clearly demonstrate divine unity through the evident similarity and oneness found within that species. Some species are spread throughout most parts of the universe. Life itself has encompassed the earth and the cosmos. Angels are conscious living beings spread throughout the universe. Fish are living species spread throughout all oceans and seas. From this, both reason and direct perception immediately understand that whoever is the creator of one individual must also be the creator of all other species, kinds, and classes. For example, whichever pen gives form and shape to your face or to the face of any other person must simultaneously behold all human faces, from Adam until the day of resurrection, in order to create for each one a distinct and differentiating appearance. Indeed, the fact that billions of human faces, including the 8 billion people alive today, differ from one another, and even the retinas within their eyes are unique, utterly destroys and casts aside the idea of blind coincidence. Thus, from one individual to an entire species, and from one species to all humanity, this truth opens yet another window toward the existence and unity of Allah. And through that window, the universe bears witness with the melody, Allahu la ilaha illahu. Allah, there is no deity except Him. 11. Those who, through their narrow vision and limited intellect, find it difficult or impossible to attribute the creation of everything to Allah, the one whose existence is certain, one and unique, instead turn away from Allah and attribute existence to causes, nature, and things themselves, despite this being an utterly false and impossible assumption. Yet, when all beings are not attributed to Almighty Allah, the impossibilities imagined by the deniers become true impossibilities and absurdities. If the works and arts of the universe are attributed not to one Allah, but to multiplicity, to causes, atoms, nature, and self-formation, then impossibilities arise in number according to all the atoms, compounds, and particles of the universe. The supposed difficulty imagined by unbelievers in believing in one Allah becomes, when attributed to nature and causes, a genuine and overwhelming impossibility. Whereas the path of faith, attributing all things to Allah, their true owner, is infinitely easier and more coherent than attributing them to blind nature, coincidence, or self-formation. For the emergence of many things from one hand is far easier than the emergence of one thing from many conflicting hands, especially when those many are blind, unconscious, and moving contrary to one another. Their coming together only increases confusion and impossibility. For example, if a bee were not assumed to emerge from the power of Allah, then one would have to believe that all the elements and atoms of the earth and heavens cooperated within the tiny body of the bee. Likewise, if even a single atom were not attributed to Allah, then the creation and functioning of that atom would become more difficult than mountains within the world of causes. For a single power can produce many effects with one act and obtain countless results from it. But many causes and many agents cannot easily produce even one organized effect. As an example, consider a military officer directing a battalion. One officer can instantly arrange and command thousands of soldiers into perfect order. But if those soldiers were left leaderless and left to themselves, chaos and anarchy would immediately arise. Similarly, when beings are attributed to multiplicity nature, and coincidence, true absurdities and impossibilities appear. Among those absurdities are the following. First, since every being contains marvelous beauty, adornment, artistry, and order, one would have to assume that every atom possesses the infinite knowledge and power belonging only to Almighty Allah. Second, Almighty Allah absolutely rejects all partners and associates. He has no need whatsoever for helpers. Had there been partners in the sovereignty and administration of the universe, its order and harmony would collapse. The perfect order witnessed throughout existence rejects every form of partnership. Third, since perfect order exists in everything, denying one, Allah would require imagining every atom simultaneously ruling over all other atoms while also being ruled by them, each both commander and servant at once. Fourth, the balance, solidarity, and harmony in all things would require, if not attributed to one supreme commander, that every atom and molecule possess all-encompassing consciousness and infinite knowledge. Thus, when beings are attributed to causes in nature, hundreds of interconnected impossibilities and absurdities must be accepted, absurdities from which even fanciful minds recoil in disgust. But if everything is attributed to Allah, whose existence is absolutely certain, then no difficulty remains. Just as raindrops reflect the image of the sun when facing it, so too atoms and compounds become mirrors to the luminous divine manifestations of eternal and infinite knowledge, will, and power. They merely carry out the commands given to them, for even a single luminous manifestation of Almighty Allah's eternal power possesses the qualities of knowledge, power, and will, and is infinitely more effective than the physical sun's influence upon matter. Indeed, even less than a single particle of divine power is greater than mountains of causal influence. Because even a tiny luminous point from Allah's power contains the qualities of the whole universal power. Within the divine power, the part is like the whole, and the whole exercises its universal effect upon all creation. 12. When the creation of things in the universe is attributed to the power of Allah, there is no burden or difficulty whatsoever, for His power is an essential attribute belonging to His divine essence. Weakness and incapacity, the opposites of power, are impossible for Him. No impotence or deficiency can enter into divine power. Based upon the mysteries of transparency, reciprocity, balance, abstraction, obedience, and order, we observe with our own eyes that, in relation to the power of Allah, atoms and suns, a tiny particle and a gigantic galaxy, an individual and entire species, are equal and alike with respect to creation. It is that divine power which creates marvelous living clusters of grapes from a lifeless and delicate vine. If those grape clusters were attributed to causes, then for even a single cluster, millions of tons of burdens, causes, and difficulties would hypothetically be required, and still no result could truly be obtained.